Hey, hey. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me. I'm excited today because I have coming one of my original future law campers, Tylea. She is, hello. I'm going to go ahead and add her. Let me know if y'all can hear me, right? I can hear you under there. So she's one of our original law campers, and she's in college now. I wanted to check in with her because we are gearing up for the new Future Lawyers Camp. Um, Talia, if you can hear me, just press yes. Type yes under there. Let me try to add her. Okay, great. So now I just added you. Hi, hello.
How you been?
Yay. Good, 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 good. So I've been looking at your resume. So your awards are stacked. Um, let's just look at some of them. I was like, wow. First of all, what year are you in college now?
So technically, this will be my third year of college, but I came in with dual enrollment, so I'm a second year junior according to credits.
Okay, according to credit, second year junior. Okay. So what year are you going to graduate?
I'm going to graduate in 2023 because I'm declaring a minor and possibly a double major in marketing.
Okay. Okay. So I wanted to let everybody know. So 2016, when I started my first law camp, Tylea's sister reached out to me. Her name's Anastasia. She said, "Hey," she said, "my sister would be perfect for the law camp." She said, "She's just like you. She wanted to be a lawyer her whole life, and that's how I am." So I knew that I was going to be a lawyer by the age of 5.
Yeah,
So
clearly.
and and so she was like, "My sister, I'm gonna let you know. She already knows what she want to do. She's already ready. Like you don't really have to do much with her, but she needs to learn the good." So when I was in law school, a lot of my white counterparts had camps and stuff like this, and I was like, wow, I would have killed to have something like this. So I put it together. Me and my friend Kayla, she's an educator, so she helped me with the curriculum, and we put everything together for her. So that was in 2016, and you were a sophomore in high school, or were you about to be a junior in high school then?
I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay. And you had great arguments. You caught on very quickly to the curriculum. I was super impressed. I was like, "Oh, okay, she's really going to be a lawyer." So this is not she's not playing. Um, so what kind of lawyer did you want to be when you were a kid, and what kind of lawyer are you looking at now, or what kind of law are you looking at?
When I was a kid, I strictly wanted to be a criminal lawyer. I just knew it. I really wanted to be. And honestly, I was never really into much of the criminal shows. So it
Mm-hmm.
always that I grew up wanting to be a criminal lawyer, but now that I'm older and I'm honestly finding out my passions, I either still want to be a criminal lawyer or I want to be in entertainment law.
I could see you in both. I could really see you in entertainment law because you're really entertaining. So she just did a poetry. It was like a poetry event. So if you want to go to her page, make sure you go follow her. She did a poetry event about what was the topic?
So the Black Arts Expo actually wasn't even a poetry event. It was a citywide and a campus-wide event for all Black creators, whether that be an artist, entrepreneurs, anybody who had a small business, big business, who had corporations involved, and you were a minority, you were able to be a part of our event. And we also had performances. We had different desserts for minority students on campus. It was
Mm-hmm.
but I did perform poetry at my event.
Oh, okay. So, but did you, how long did it take you to write it, and what was the inspiration behind it? Because I knew it was a real life event. Like it was a real life poem. Like it wasn't playing no games.
So, what inspired me to write that specific poem? It's called Call Me a You, and it was actually inspired by the poetry book that I'm supposed to be dropping either this summer or early next August.
Okay.
And The book is actually called Call Me AU, and I knew at the end of the book I kind of wanted a poem that summed up the whole gist of the theme that I was going for in my book.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's just about black love. Like, it's about calling me AU because AU is the atomic symbol for gold, and we as black people are the golden people.
Okay. Okay. I like what I hear. So you're a future author. Okay. I need to put that on your resume. She sent me her resume, guy. It's so lit. Okay. So now let's talk about the law camp. So when you first went to the law camp,
Right.
let everybody know the law camp is free to all students. They don't have to pay anything. It's a whole week. They learn how to be an attorney from people like me, defense attorneys. I had prosecuting attorneys come in. They talked to real judges. They argued in front of the judge. We put them on a bus. We took them to the real courthouse. Then we took them to the Dred Scott courthouse. So this year it's going to be a hybrid. If it's in St. Louis and Kansas City, it'll for sure be in person. If it's in another city, depending on the level of demand, we can do a hybrid or we'll just do virtual. But no matter where your kid is at, you can sign up right now in my bio. Click Future Lawyers Camp. Okay, so when you first went to the camp, what was your? Because the first day you started raising your hand instantly. I asked y'all about police. I wanted to know what was your thoughts. What was your ideas when you first came in? Like, how did you think about the camp?
When I first came into the camp, honestly, I was nervous just a little bit because I knew I always wanted to be a lawyer, but my biggest fear with being a lawyer is getting into the field and then finding out that it's not for me. Just because it doesn't come with instructions. So you could gear yourself for something your whole life and then actually get it and it's something different. So for me, I was very anxious. I was scared, but I loved what was going on because, as you said, there aren't many camps for minorities that want to become in fields like lawyers and doctors. So for me, it was a really exciting experience. I loved hearing everything that Anastasia told me about you. Like, I was just like, wow, she's a black lawyer and she wants to do this. Sounded really inspirational. And ever since then, I've literally been looking up to you, like literally from point to point. Everything that you do is literally what I want to do later on in life.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Well, I look up to you because you've been doing it. Didn't you, were you like, what did you get when you graduated? Like your grades were like crazy, right? Like
Yes,
high school?
yes. When I graduated high school, I graduated the illustrious Live for Life Academy as the valedictorian of the class of 2019. I had a 4.56 GPA, and I also won the plaque because I got accepted into over 52 colleges with over $1 million in scholarships. And I was
Okay.
also
So and you was what?
class president.
Okay. So let's back that up, y'all. She was the valedictorian. So she said she looked up to me. I was not a valedictorian. So I was, every time she posts something, I post her. So she was the valedictorian of Live for Life Academy in St. Louis. She got over a 4.0,
6.
4.56, and was the class president. So basically, she had accolades and she had over $1 million of scholarships offers. Okay, so now she's in her sophomore year of college. So like I said, I follow her for graduation. I always send her encouragement, like if she need a letter of recommendation, anything, like because that's what I want to do. My goal is to literally walk these kids because my camp is from age 8 to 18. I literally walk the kids from the age that I get them all the way until they pass the bar because it's a journey. Because it was a journey for me, so that's why I wanted to work with them. Um, Okay, so what about further mentorship? After you graduated from the camp, you got your certificate
Right.
and you moved on, you graduated high school, you went to college. I know you're in a second year, but you're technically a junior.
Right.
So what is your thoughts on the further mentorship after the camp?
I feel like the further mentorship for law school is 2 years away from me now, so now I will need prep with the LSAT and just honestly knowing tips about how you did what you did, studying tips, honestly anything that would be really encouraging about stepping the journey. Also, just keeping up with what you're doing because just as much as you want to help me, I want to help you as much as I can.
Right, right. I'm also thinking about having, because everything's virtual now, I'm thinking about bringing some of the old campers back to do internships because you do kind of need that on your resume when you apply for law schools. So that's definitely on the list. Hopefully, it'll be here by the fall because in the summer we want to try to get all the campers in. Okay, so um, what do you think other future lawyers should join, and what did you get from the camp itself, and then what did you get after the camp that you feel like is actually helping you get to your goal?
I would have to say I highly recommend this program, this camp for anybody who wants to be a lawyer. Even if you don't want to be a lawyer and you're thinking about being somewhere within the law field, the criminal justice system, this is a perfect camp for you just because the different aspects that she showed us during the camp, it wasn't just about the law perspective. It was from the judge perspective, from the jury perspective, from the police perspective. And honestly, that's a lot of perspectives that you need to even get into your interest of being in the criminal field. I would have to say what I got from the program when I was in it is honestly, even with me wanting to be a lawyer my whole life, I was slacking a little bit on my research. So about cross examinations, jury informants, just knowing about objections and sustaining, and just knowing how to put together your closing and opening statement, which is really important because one thing that I learned from you, it was probably the best thing that you said, in my opinion, was that when you have a closing statement, it's not just about repeating the evidence that you presented, it's about telling a story because that's how you will present to the jury. That's what you're wanting to. You're not just putting in a ruling, it's somebody's future that you have in your hands. So that really stood out to me. And then as far as after the program, I would have to say what I really took away from the program as far as afterwards and the after effects would just be the lifetime commitment to the support that you're giving me. Every time I look up, you're sharing my posts, you're putting encouraging words. I'm watching you do something that I've always wanted to do. So just you being yourself was inspiration enough for me. Just because a lot of people start the mission, but they don't finish the mission. And right now, to me, you're definitely living up to what you always said you want to do.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Another thing we do, because you were among the older kids that were there.
Right.
The kids that went to college, we try to send them little stipends here and there to try to help them out. We're gonna start sending y'all boxes. Like when you graduate, I don't even want to tell you, but you definitely getting something when you graduate. This year we're trying to get more funding too. So if y'all know anybody that or any companies or anything that wants to get involved, we are a nonprofit organization. You can contact us or you can click the link in Just Us System bio and donate. I mean, this is a huge, huge thing for the community. Last year, so let's talk about a little bit of current events. So last year, um, George Floyd was murdered, Breonna Taylor was murdered, everything was up in the air. I know you've seen all these companies and stuff talking about what they wanted to do, but not a lot of action. The day that we were in there, the first day, we talked about how we as kids, and I asked y'all the same thing, how we felt about the police and how we wanted to change. And I feel like all kids don't want to see what we see right now. We don't want to keep seeing Black people get killed by the police. So what is your opinion on, do you think, number one, do you think that these companies have done anything to help change, or the companies or the state or anybody who talked about it? And number two, um, when you graduate, even though you're going to be in the entertainment field, I know you're going to be able to help this because you're passionate and you talk about it all the time. So, what ideas do you have?
So for me, I would honestly have to say, though a lot of companies said that they were going to do this, they put up the money towards it. I feel like that's the solution that they've been throwing at the problem for years on edge. Everybody wants to throw money towards something. And don't get me wrong, funding the right partnerships is an important step to making change, but it's not the only step. I think that a lot of these
Right.
companies are of activism. They're not actually committed to seeing equity. They see the equality, but that's not what we want. We want equity. We don't just want everybody to get the same thing. We want people to get what they need at an equal level. So for me, honestly, a lot of these companies, of course, nothing is an all situation. So not all companies are performing activism, but most of them are. And to me, I honestly think it's sad because even with a new generation, even with new ideas, new people, new faces, new revolutionaries, we're still throwing the same solution. We still have the same school system. We still have the same criminal system. We still have the same police justice. And that's really what that is right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. You can answer that as far as yourself.
Yes. As far as myself, Oh, sorry.
That's
A
okay. That happened to me
notification
too.
popped up. I would have to start as continuing with my activism, especially with the topics that I'm most passionate about and getting justice and equality for my people, people who look like me, minorities, and just everybody. Because honestly, until we're all free, nobody is. So when we say we want justice for us, it's not just us, it's justice for all. I would have to say my first idea when it comes to activism and social justice issues is honestly we need to reform the police. A lot of people are saying defund, which that is the first step to reforming the police, but a lot of people will always come back to you and respond to you with ways, well, what if somebody breaks into your house, or what if you need to call the police? The first step to that, for one, is building policing within the community. So even if we have to take a break from the police and let the community decide how we will handle those unnecessary and sometimes unforeseen situations, like somebody breaking into your house, then that's what it'll take for us to do it. But the money that's going into funding a police system that has been against us and discriminating us for years, with those funds, you could be putting that back into the community. And then with that, after you defund the police, we need to figure out a more neutral and a more modern way to form the police systems, because we're using the same system that they had for slavery patrol. And that's the reason why you see the same things constantly happen. You know, what happened to Fred Hampton, how they just came into his house, no reason, no justifications, is the same thing that's happening right now to Breonna Taylor. This just happened last year. So nothing has really changed. A lot of people say we've come so far, but how far have we really come?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I always talk about, like I said, the camp is one of those examples of why is there not? So they spend. We have a juvenile court that I used to work at in St. Louis. We have which has like a juvenile detention center that is funded millions of dollars. The city jail funded. We had a workhouse. They trying to close it. We have prisons. So they're putting a lot of funding into these places, and I'm glad you, as a member of our youth, can see that and recognize that. Where if we could take, and then our police departments get so much fund. I'm talking about hundreds of millions of dollars of funding when our schools are defunded and no programs, everything. So if it's common sense, and it's
Right.
something that they've never done. We've only been getting defunded since I can remember. And when people you just talk about breaking into a house, that's an act of poverty. So a lot of Black people and a lot of Black communities suffer with economic violence. And so that's why I talk about the causes of stuff, because they like to look at the end result, but they don't understand violence is violence. Economic violence is one. Education violence. Like making it so that there are areas of St. Louis where all the kids in that area have to drive 30 to 40 minutes to go to school on a bus, just
Education.
because the state refuses to put funds, resources, and anything into the schools, into their areas, and into the actual areas itself. And I don't care if it's county schools. You know, a lot of people that's outside of St. Louis, they don't know Mike Brown went to a county school. So it doesn't matter if it's a county school, a city school, or what. And Normandy had just got its accreditation back when he graduated. Like, all of these barriers, not only defunding our schools, but also de-accreditation, where if a kid graduates from one of those schools, they cannot go to college. And so you're literally stifling them. And that's why people are committing some of these offenses. Okay, so we have one of our questions, and this is KV, the writer. She is also the educator. She has a master's in education. She helped with the curriculum. Well, she basically did the curriculum for me. Thank you. And if we did not have an educator, the camp wouldn't have been what it was. So she asked the question. She said, what activities, lessons, field experiences, or speakers would you like to see added in the future for the future lawyers camp or for future campers? Like, what do you think could impact them if we added it?
I would honestly say something that would have helped me, and I think a lot of other people, is different representations of lawyers, and probably different representations of people that were necessarily in the justice system, but not really a part of the law. Like we said, we did see police officers and we did see judges, but we met them in their environments. I feel like it's always more comforting when somebody comes to your environment. So
Mm-hmm.
to just see those guest speakers and seeing different relations, or maybe even just somebody who had their life changed by the justice system. Like the exonerated five, not necessarily that big, but somebody of that sort, somebody who had those resources of
I
what we're
like that.
trying to do.
I like that. And I like how you said different types.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm in the law and I'm in it, I know, like, okay, for example, how you like entertainment law, I know a lot of entertainment lawyers. I know a lot of
Right.
lawyers that represent, I know lawyers that represent Issa Rae, represent singers, rappers, represent people in Netflix.
Right.
Also, what else? Sports, because I'm into sports, but I do sports and race, so it's a little different. But or athletes, like here I'm in Kansas City, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, it would be nice to maybe get one of the Chiefs players to come and talk to them because that'll resonate.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that, getting different type of people to come in, but kind of pushing the same thing.
Yes.
Okay, so she said thanks for your feedback. Yes, sports agents. Yes, because I know several. I know I've met several sports agents. I know sports
Mm-hmm.
agents. Like it's a lot of stuff. I think I'm gonna add that to the because right now I have a future lawyers camp sign up sheet. I think I'm gonna add what are your child's interests on there.
Yes.
Just
I
so I
feel
can
like that's
see
also
what
very
what are
important.
people. Yes, so I can see what people interests are. I'm also going to connect you to some entertainment lawyers. I'm going to post this video on YouTube and also on Twitter and stuff tomorrow so people can see and people can contact me if they want to reach out to you since we know you're specifically still looking at criminal law, but you're
Right.
literally you feel in the entertainment law, and like I said, you'll thrive in either one, so I'm here
Thank
to help you.
you.
But thank you for coming on. I know you worked yesterday, and I know you in school, and
Yes.
it's going to be summertime. I just want to, wish you continued success. I know you're
Thank
not playing with school, so I don't even got to say stay on your grades.
you. No
um,
scholarship
so
requirements.
yes, we'll get those LSAT, tips to you. I have a whole system of how to study for that. And then the whole process of putting the application together. So we'll keep working on that. Y'all make sure y'all follow Tylea. Please follow her and follow justussystem.org. I pinned it in the comments. Also donate. Make sure you donate. Go to my page,
Yes.
click support me, or go to Just Us System page and click donate. Every dollar y'all send to us is literally going to help fund the camp, help get us more stuff for campers. I want to get what y'all didn't have, and what I want to get now is I want all y'all to have suits on trial day.
Ooh, that would be nice. I would really like that just because you get the full experience, everything.
Yes, yes, and I'm gonna get the funding for. I want y'all to have suits on trial day. I'm also thinking about doing headshots that day. I'm really trying to go big with it, because I want to be like I really want to be legit. I want the kids to look legit, even though they're still kids. So I'll see everybody later. Thank y'all for tuning in. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, Natasha Scruggs.
No problem.